Alright, so it seems like the 𝓥𝓲𝓭𝓮 development team, or more specifically 𝓥𝓲𝓭, is starting to pick up the pace after a content drought, and a lot more changes are being made than before at an even faster pace. As with anything, some changes are great, while some are a bit problematic, but overall, I think this update was a net positive, save for some really bad decisions. String? Anyways, this video will be going over the new updates that were released in this update, and talking about everything you need to know in this little pack of updates that 𝓥𝓲𝓭 brought to 𝓥𝓲𝓭𝓮. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. For the most simple update of this bunch, Bloody Kick was added to the Nezuko moveset in 𝓥𝓲𝓭𝓮. This move has an M1 variant and an M2 variant, with the M2 variant being the one that was sneaked a while back. The M1 is a double kick that does really good damage and knocks the opponent back. Meanwhile, the M2 is a simple stomp on the ground. Overall, it's actually really good for combos and the like, so overall it's a nice addition to Blood. Honestly, Nezuko's BDA could be a genuine threat, kind of like Sound, but better. Only time can tell though, so let's move on. Next big things are some reworks for Sun. Dance M1 got reworked into a teleporting slash, which is basically a reskin of Unknowing Fire. Unfortunately, this isn't necessarily a great change, considering the first version was really unique, and it straight up just turns Sun into a reskin of Fire Breathing. Dance M2 has shorter dashes, which really doesn't matter too much, and oh, Hinokami isn't a thing anymore. That ult has been replaced by a new move called Rage. To use this move, you have to be under 20% of your health. Once you do reach that amount though, you can activate it, and boy is this ult very simple. When activated, the user enters a state where music plays, and they get a cool little effect on their screen. During this mode, they cannot be hit by anything, and I mean literally anything. The user will automatically parry anything that hits them, from regular M1s to literal unparryable guard breaks. The only things that can break through this are ultimates, evasives, and for some weird reason, arrows moves. They also gain a small movement speed boost, which is fine. This ult is the very first mode ultimate in the entire game, and it's very new to 𝓥𝓲𝓭𝓮. So, String got another buff for absolutely no reason. String Pull M2 has been reworked into a very long range move that's blockable, but does pretty decent damage. Also, it has incredibly low startup, meaning that you're almost guaranteed to land it. Right now, it's a pretty decent move, and 𝓥𝓲𝓭's emergency nerf to it was very much deserved. Oh, and that's not even mentioning he gave Fake Def an M2 as well. Fake Def's M2 makes the user throw 2 punches that do low damage and knock back the person hit. This can be used in stun because it's an evasive, and also gives iframes. Anyways, it's a really good evasive, and also guard breaks, so it's kinda unavoidable. It has a long cooldown of 40 seconds, which is completely understandable considering how good of an evasive this is. Doesn't seem to have enough stun to actually lead into a combo, which is good. Overall, this is a proper evasive, and yeah, it's really good. Fun fact about this evasive, by the way, it used to not have a cooldown before this update, meaning you could do this. Yeah, it's hilarious. However, all's not sunny for String because Eye Basket did get a nerf. Eye Basket does much lower damage than before, around 20 damage, which I am all for. That move was way too overpowered before, and honestly, it still is for team fights. String as a whole is way too powerful right now, and I hope 𝓥𝓲𝓭 fixes it. Next up is a very small visual change to the health bar. It now shows your percentage of health, which is great. I love this small quality of life change, and this is definitely a step in the right direction. Not much to say though, so let's move on. The other thing is a code from 𝓥𝓲𝓭 himself, which is simply called 𝓥𝓲𝓭𝓮. It gives 50 rogue coins, and that's that. Pretty funny if I do say so myself. Up next are some extremely minor updates. Flying Dance was nerfed, but I don't know how, and whatever way it was nerfed, it wasn't noticeable enough to do anything. Fist damage was buffed, thanks for that, since it was pretty dumb to make Fist do less damage than Sword. Skills that were very hard to achieve daily task completion with were removed from the tasks, which is also a good change, and yeah. Okay, so with all of that being said, those are basically all of the important updates that 𝓥𝓲𝓭 added in his recent change to the game. A noticeable trend I've been seeing with 𝓥𝓲𝓭 is that he's way more hands-on than Imed, making way more fundamental changes than the owner of the game. Instead of the normal content updates that Imed makes, 𝓥𝓲𝓭 tends to do balance changes, which are either good or bad. I will be making later videos on some things that definitely need to be addressed, most notably String being overpowered and Tamari being literally useless, but that's for another time. So, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed watching, please like and subscribe since it helps out a lot. As always, I'm 𝓥𝓲𝓭𝓮𝓸, and I'll see you next time in another video. Bye!